Hi guys, it's Alec here with a fragrance review. Today I'm going to be talking about pineapple vintage. Wow, that glare is serious. Let me get down here. I look like I got Green Goblin eyes or something. Whoa, look at that. Anyway, pineapple vintage. This is the Noir. Now I also did purchase a sample of the classic, more pineapple-y, sportier version of pineapple vintage. And what are my thoughts on it? Let's get to the thoughts right away, because if you're watching this, you probably know that this is this perfumer's. Wow, I just blanked out. This is this perfumer's version of Creed's Aventus. So, do I think it's good? Yes, I actually do think it's good. There's no sharpness to the notes, there's no real syntheticness that I can smell. I do think they are pretty good quality fragrances. And, these two samples cost me, I want to say, $20. I always round up. Cost me $20 with shipping to get them. Um, Packaging is very Creed-like. If you've seen a bottle of Creed Aventus, then obviously, this perfumer took the imitating factor to the max, because this does just scream Creed, the embossed, design, the color. If you've seen the boxes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I do think they're good. And for $104 for the larger bottles, do I think they're worth it? Well, yes and no, because really what I want to talk to you guys about today is the idea of diminishing returns when it comes to fragrances. All fragrances. A lot of things in life have diminishing returns, which is just the simple principle that at some level the value or the quality decreases the more amount of money you're spending on something. Creed can range anywhere from 150 I've seen sometimes. I don't know how reputable those bottles of Creed are, to $400 plus. And then of course people complain or are always discussing the different batches. Some are fruitier and more pineapple-y than the smokier, birch batches. Um, so there tends to be a little bit of discussion among Creed's ability to keep the quality control in check, or at least the materials that they're using in their fragrances might not always be the same from batch to batch, which is definitely something that I would just not pay, that kind of money for. And really, what I'm going to get at is I've sampled Creed Aventus here and there. I did own a smaller bottle. I think it was a 2 ouncer at some point, a 2.5 ouncer at some point. Um, was it worth it? In my opinion, the answer is no. It was not worth it. And this is only because, to us who love fragrances, we might think something smells amazing. But that doesn't mean that the people around us, our significant others, our friends, our family members, agree with us. And, this kind of goes along a similar line of, the back and forth heat that Jeremy Fragrance was getting from some fellow fragrance reviewers that, who gives a shit what someone else thinks, because ultimately I wear fragrances for me. Yes and no. I mean, I guess it depends on you as an individual. I do wear fragrances that only I like, but at the same time, I want the people around me to comment or to also enjoy the smell and the ambiance that I'm putting off with the fragrances that I'm wearing. So, would I pay $104 for this? No. And I wouldn't pay for Creed's Aventus either. Only reason because, I have Unpredictable Adventure, which I don't really think gets talked about that much in the fragrance community. I know Redolescence, Steven from Redolescence, actually put me onto that fragrance, and I think it's damn near good. Is it synthetic? Yes. Is there some sharpness to it? Yes. But does it last for 48 hours? Yes. Does it last for 72 hours? Yes. Can people really smell the difference? You know, people that aren't overly enthusiastic about fragrances, no, they cannot. And I can attest to this because I've gotten many compliments when I wear Unpredictable Adventure. Now, I'm not blasting it. I'm not spraying myself crazy. I'm not trying to choke people out, and it does have the power to do that. But I've got that, and I've got Adams. I've got Aldur Al Maknoon Silver, which is also a little lighter than Unpredictable Adventure, a little less noticeable, a little less sharp, probably a little bit more better blended than Unpredictable Adventure is. But you know, those fragrances are $40 or less. And so for less quality, understandably less quality, I can smell the part of Creed's Aventus. And most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference. That's just the truth. So the idea is that, you know, we're starting to see this, and it's always been the case. It's been the case forever. But as far as I know, I'm probably the first person to really talk about diminishing returns when it comes to a fragrance, because at some level, only you are going to be able to tell the difference, and only you really give two shits more about what you're spending or the quality over another fragrance that's more or less comparable. And that's the truth. So out of Pineapple Vintage, now, is this better than Unpredictable Adventure and Adams? Yes, it is. And I keep showing the Noir. Like I said again, I do prefer the classic, the white box one. I thought it was a nicer, and actually the longevity was much better for me with the classics, the straight up original Pineapple Vintage than this Noir one. I know, I think on Fragrantica it's the opposite. Everyone says the Noir one is better, but for me the original is much better. It's much more appealing. Maybe that's just my nose. But that's really all I have to say about this, guys. You know, it's not groundbreaking. Um, you know, and I've seen some comments with other reviews that, you know, for $104 they'd rather just buy the real deal. Well, again, it depends on if you really, you know, if you show off your fragrances, and you got the money to splurge, sure, go ahead, buy Creed Aventus. But at this point, you know, the reality is, my take on it is that it's not worth the dough. And, you know, I do think it smells good, but I think a lot of Creed Aventus's success has come from the hype. Like I said, I have gotten compliments when I wore Unpredictable Adventure. I actually never got a compliment when I was wearing Creed Aventus. Swear to God, I just never got a compliment when I was wearing it. And I was like, I felt confident, I looked good, but I didn't get a compliment when I was wearing it. So it was kind of like, that's how I felt. It's like, man, I spent all this money on a bottle of fragrance. I want somebody to be like, yo, you smell good. Or, a female to be like, oh, Poppy, you smell good. Didn't happen. At least when I was wearing the real deal Holyfield Creed Aventus. So, anyway, my name is Alex Santiago. I will be doing more fragrance reviews in the future. Subscribe to my channel, and peace, love, and chicken grease.